everybody. This is DJ Straight, and I am back again in Praise from the Closet. Again, I want to encourage you guys to go to WGMLB.com and listen live. We are on there 365 days, 24 hours a day, and 7 days a week playing great music. And October 1st, we're going full force, hopefully with all of the shows that we have planned. And I thank you all for your participation. And you can always go on the YouTube channel, DJ Straight, and everything that we're doing video. We're going to upload it to our YouTube channel. And I'm excited today because we have our guests. They are one of the regulars on the show, and it's the Byrds. Tripping with the Byrds. Before I bring them on, let me just tell you about the Byrds. They are a lovely couple. They've been married a long time. If you go on my page, the husband celebrated a birthday. I believe they celebrated an anniversary. And one thing I like about the Byrds, they don't mind sharing whatever knowledge they know. They don't mind sharing it. And I'm telling you, you can learn so much just from people being themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I like WMLB, because on this station, you get to be yourself. If you come on out, what's your passion? What's your hobby or your career? You may find out something that, wow, I didn't realize I can, it's my passion. I might be an attorney, but my passion is needlepoint. Or I might like to collect rocks. Oh, that's your job. You collect the rocks. That'll be a passion. But when you tune into WGMLB, you will hear and see many different types of people. And right now, I want to bring on Tripping with the Byrds. I want to bring on Mr. Rick Byrd. I want to bring on his wife, Trina Byrd. So, Tripping with the Byrds, I want you guys to go ahead and greet everybody, and you can take the floor over today.
All right, thank you very much, Lynette, for having us and putting us on your platform. It's a great pleasure to come and talk to you guys. I mean, we've been doing, just to give you a little bit of history, we've been doing live broadcasts since in the 90s.
It's been a while.
Yeah, old time broadcasts where you're in the studio on local programming, local TV channel. We did that for about 8 years, and then we moved on to radio when Comcast came in and bought up all the little stations and took away the local programming. We went to radio, and we did that for another 8 years. So we are definitely used to being able to come on in a live format to do on a Wednesday for years. I mean, we've been off for a while as well, because back in the early 90s. Fast forward to, I guess we stopped doing it around 2012 or something like that, and we took a break, and then we would come back and do a couple little excerpts, but we're getting back on track now, only because podcasts and shows like this are very popular and informative, and people just love it. They just love an alternative option to all the craziness that's on television every day, whether it's news or some of these outrageous shows that is just the norm now. Yeah, people just don't. Yeah, people don't want to watch them. So when you came up with the idea for RV, we had never thought of that. So I say all that to say that we're like seasoned people, but we never ever thought about doing an RV show. So we are thankful to you that you came up with that idea, Lynette, and you were willing to host it on your platform.
Absolutely,
and we're excited about it. How about you, Rick?
Yeah, matter of fact, we've been more or less RVing since 2007. And on and off, but right now, since we're retired, we're taking a hook, line, and sink. We go often, and as often as we can. And again, I want to thank you like Lynette, for letting us on your show so we can share. We have a wealth of information. As I said, we've been doing this since 2007 on and off, and right now we're doing it. So anybody thinking about hitting the road or doing anything of that nature, we can more or less help you out. And before we get started, we're going to show you a little bit about saving money, the true RV living, and it might be very interesting, for you to want to take heed because it's not really what you think as far as like just getting in driving. It's a little bit more to it than that. So we want to more or less explain it to you. So I don't know if like Lynette, if you have like the chat room open, any like questions you might have, we are
Yeah,
ready
they
to
can
ask.
text. Let me interrupt you, Rick. If they have any questions, they can text 202 322 2470. Or if they want to, I'll get them if they email them. I'm sorry, if they share on Facebook, I'll get them that way. And we have live text 202 322 2470. If you have any questions as the bird talks, we'll take them live. Go for it, Rick.
Okay, all right, thank you, Lynette.
Great.
What we want to do is we want to start as much as from the beginning as we can and bring it on up to speed. I know Tom will probably not like allows. What we want to go through is like how like the atmosphere.
Well, let's talk about how we got started first, Rick.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I'll only be short because I know. I mean, Rick is the driver. I take care of the inside. He takes care of the outside, and the outside is more important than the inside. So whatever he's about to tell you that we've learned, not I wouldn't say the hard way, but as we've been doing it,
I guess you say through trial and error.
yeah. And people need to know, especially if you're thinking about it. But I want to tell you the story about how we got started with the RV. So I actually my parents wanted to my mom wanted an RV back in the day, and things kind of didn't work out with them, and it was just in the back of my mind. And so one day we were away on business in Tennessee or Texas, I don't remember which one.
No,
I think it was Tennessee.
It was Tennessee.
And
Opry House.
the Opry House, and down the street in walking distance was an RV place. So I was like, you know what, let's go down here and check them out and see because Rick was like, no, I don't, it's not, I like to go real camping. I'm a real camping person. So I was like, well, I'm not sleeping on no ground with no bugs and no heat and none of that.
Right.
So we went out and took it for a test drive. And he's always driven big rigs. Like he drove big rigs before. And so it was an ease for him to just get behind the wheel and drive the RV, and he loved it. And we actually were going to buy right then and there. We're going to cancel our plane ride back home to Jersey and drive the RV home. But what happened was in the state of Tennessee, there's different rules in different states. They believe that if you had two mortgages, that they would be third in line. And if you had to pay you would pay your most important mortgages first and let them go. So they wouldn't approve us. And it wasn't like we had two homes. We had a business mortgage on our business property, and then we had a home mortgage on our home. And so when we got back to Jersey, we were like, no, we getting this. This is something we're going to really like. So in 2007, we actually found one that we liked, the Jayco Greyhawk. And we ended up purchasing it. And we laid down the concrete pad in our driveway. We extended the driveway. So when we came in, you have to keep it kind of leveled as much as you can. So we laid the concrete pad. And it's also, Rick will talk more about it. When you lay the concrete pad down, it keeps it from sinking in the mud and getting stuck and things like that if it rains. And so we were still viable with the business, and Rick was working a full-time job. And he was stressed, I was stressed. And I just knew if I could get him on that RV and away from everything, because he would go to work, he'd be stressed there. He would go to T-Bird Computers and have to fill in the blanks there and be stressed. And then he'd come home and had to cut the grass and fix this. He was just always, working. And it was actually causing problems between us because I was working hard, he was working hard, and we didn't have that quality time for one another. And I thought that if we took an RV out, we would get that quality time because neither one of us, we didn't have the internet on the road back then. We didn't have, we had a cell phone, but you just you weren't mobile as much. And I knew that if we went out on the RV, we would both have to look at each other and spend time with each other. And it actually worked. He started to enjoy it. I started to enjoy it, but we still never had time to actually get away from the business to actually do any long-term trips. So from 2007 to about 2000, probably 12 or 13, we just would go do small little, not even weekend things. We would just go do one day things.
Yeah,
We
one
Okay.
day somebody had like a jazz festival or some
Yeah,
kind of bazaar or something.
we would drive it up to it.
Drive
Yeah,
it there,
but never staying in camp. We always did dry camping.
drive
Okay.
it.
So dry camping is that when you're not in a campsite. When you go to a campsite, the campsites have a hookup for your electric, your water, and your sewer. When you dry camp, you're
And
using
cable.
and cable.
Don't forget that cable now.
Yeah. And we got plenty
Everybody
of
need
stuff to
cable.
tell you guys about all kinds of stuff. So this is going to be a really, really great show. And you're going to want to tune in every week to get the information that we have to offer, especially if you're thinking about doing this or you're doing it and you need help. Um, when you dry camp, you actually utilize your generator to provide you with the electricity. You have to fill up your water tank, and of course that causes you to drive with a full tank of water, which means that you're burning more gas. And then you use propane if you want to use your stove or you want to have heat. Propane generates your keeps your refrigerator cool when you're driving down the road. The propane will also allow you to keep your water heater hot. So when you turn the water on, your water will be hot to wash your hands after, you know. So dry camping is all based on what's already on the actual camp, the camper, your RV,
Okay.
and that's what we did because we didn't know any better. We just did dry camping, and then I decided that we were going to take a vacation finally in the RV, and we were going to go to campsites and see what it was about, and we went and fell in love. Just didn't realize what we were missing out on. The camaraderie that you find when you meet new people, and just the whole atmosphere of being inside a campsite is safe. You rarely hear about any kind of violence or bad things. The only thing you got to worry about in a campsite and anywhere is like if a storm's coming, and it's a big electrical storm or a rainstorm, things like that. But other than that, it's just a lot of fun. And once we started to do that, we were like, okay, we made a great investment back in 2007 because our initial intent was to, go, have something we could relax with, but also plan for our retirement. And because we did the retirement thing um, back in 2007, we're almost done paying for the RV. Fast forward to
Thank God for
2020,
that.
yeah. So I just wanted to give you a background on why we did it. So if you and your husband, especially if the kids have just left the house and you're empty nesters, go get yourself a rental and rent the RV and try it out for size. You will be glad you did. There's so many groups out there. Black people camp
Black, white,
too.
alike, right?
Yeah, it's all kinds of great organizations out there where they plan events, and you just travel the country at your own pace. If you're retired, you really get to explore the country, the outside outdoorness, and just having your own private home on your wheels and not have to worry about a hotel room and who's been in there before you and what they may have left behind that you can't see, and just
All
the COVID stuff, all that.
just
How
pandemic.
easy is it to get gas for stuff like this, and how often do you have to fill up?
That's
Okay,
Rick
that's a
can do
good
that.
question.
Hmm.
But I'm going to answer that like in a few seconds. But I want to get to this as an RV beginner. I mean, you got to take practice trips, and like a great way to get a
That's a
feel
good point.
of your camper, or like a new RV. It gives you a chance to diagnose like potential problems that you might not even know. And so I suggest taking like somewhat like what they call like a maiden voyage near you, like a campground near you first, and that way you can actually actually see where you are and how all like the systems work. Even though when you buy a new system, they're supposed to give you some kind of like walkthrough just to get familiarized with it, so you can actually know how like to dump. There's another thing too, along with the gas dumping it, and like the gas, how how to run like the refrigerator, water heater, and like leveling the jacks, as our trainer was talking about earlier. And now, getting back to the gas, we went through the hardest times. I think when they just recently we couldn't find gas. We had to schedule a trip, and we were going out
South Carolina.
Right, to South Carolina, and
they ran out of
it
gas.
reminded me of the odd. Those of you who were back in the day, the odd and even gas, how you couldn't find gas. Some gas stations were totally out. Some of them had a long line, and like when you're traveling, you need petrol, and and like saying that, we tried not to go under half a tank, so in case we ran out, because we didn't know where we were going, our full destination. But
tell about how you have to maneuver to get into the gas. I think that's what Lynette's question was. How do you maneuver to get in there?
How did you get? Well, listen, getting back to where Trina said, like I was driving when I stepped in there, it's like three types. There's an A and a C class, and then there's a pull along. And we happened to drive A class when we were in Tennessee. And anybody knows that's like almost like the bus view, and then
bus front, yeah,
bus front, and then there's the C class, which is regular, I guess, mobile home with like the people on top. You probably saw those going down the road, and at any rate, it was like driving a car. That's how state of the art things are now in those RVs. So I think to answer your question is, how do you get gas? You just drive it like a regular car.
But you do have to, tell about those turns. I mean, you really gotta, know how to maneuver around, and you have to. I mean, you can still back up and go forward just like any other vehicle. But if you have a car on the back of your RV and you don't have the more expensive pull switch, meaning that you could go forward or back in reverse with it, because these things cost like about $1,800 just to go straight. If you get the reverse one, it's probably $3,800. So of course we didn't have to go with that. We figured, Rick is experienced, so he would know how to get in. It's only been like 2 times he's had to, because what happens is if you cannot back up, you got to get out the RV, unhook the car from the RV,
brake lights,
right,
and like the chain and everything.
The dolly that pulls it. Yeah,
that's a little bit down the road. That's like a driving tip.
Just to back up.
Oh yeah, just to back up. To back up.
Because it has to go in a full
forward.
A full alignment in back of the car. But like the new ones allow you to back up now. And like we have
but it costs more too, a lot more.
Well, and we have like what we call the Blue Ox. The Blue Ox, we got that installed, and that one is you can only move forward. See, that's another trick of the trade too. A lot of people will try to back up wrong turn, and then you can break your equipment. But like the biggest thing of all, you have to know a bit more about going, learning about curves. You can't take a curve too fast. Can't take it fast because you might end up tipping it over if you're not careful.
Yep.
So like there's pros and cons of it now. I can only give you like a few tips now because I'm only we're only here like a half an hour, and I can talk for days for this. You got to run.
I'll let you know when it's time. You good? You good?
Oh, okay, all right. And like for all like the newbies, I suggest getting yourself a checklist and going by that checklist. I'm not saying that I'm that good, but I can do a half a checklist because I got the other half in my mind what I have to do before I get really on the road, because it's a lot like one is checking the tires, the awnings, making sure the RV jacks are pulled up, everything is latched and secure, even like your passengers, because like Trina has a way of easing out that seatbelt and going in the back doing something, while I'm driving.
I was getting ready to ask you that question. Are you allowed to cook while you're driving? While it's moving, can you cook and things?
Oh, you can. I would never do it, but our one of our RV people. She made, oh man, was it good? She made this
Squash bread or something.
was it squat zucchini bread?
Zucchini bread.
Why can't you cook? Is there a danger to that? Just for people who may be thinking about it.
Well, for me, if I'm cooking, I want that sucker stopped in place. So if you know, like lots of times when you're going down the highway and especially going down south, you're on the road and them tractor trailers are like, you know, when anybody drives down 95, them tractor trailers go past you and you just sway. And I just don't want, you know, I'm very cautious about everything in life. And I just don't want to have like a pot on the stove and it, you know, like fall or you got something near it and, you know, I'm just very cautious. But I mean, I guess you could put something in the oven and keep going. But technically, legally, I believe, Rick may be able to answer this as well. I think when you're in travel, you're supposed to turn your propane off.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And like you bring up another point, going through tunnels. Like if you go through like the Baltimore tunnel, your propane by law is
Has to be off.
If not, you have to put the loop, like the loop around, which is 695, and that's like something like 75 miles more, or like close to 50 miles more. You got to go through that like that loop belt.
But the cool thing, Lynette, is that you just pull over. You stop at a shopping center anywhere, and just pull
Is
at the
that
back
okay
of the
to do
shopping
that?
center.
It's okay to stop at a shopping center.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They invite that.
They invited
Sam's
Club, Walmart.
They invite campers.
What's that other one? The breakfast place. Not
Waffle House.
Not the Waffle House. The other one.
Yeah, there's a Waffle House.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
So, and it doesn't. You could be at a Home Depot parking lot anywhere. You pull over to the back. Or you can stop at any one of those on the highway. You can stop at the rest stops. You could park anywhere you would park a car. And
so why do they invite you guys? Is there a benefit to having RVs on their lot, or they just being courteous?
No,
being courtesy. Well, they know you're gonna come in there and eat too.
Yeah, and like it's well lit. You have security around you. Rather than going to like the rest stops where like the tractor trailers do, if like all fails, you can go to one of those stops. But to me, it's a little bit too dark. You know what I mean? But like whereas like Walmart or Kmart or like the other ones, they are very well
Target. So I don't know how Target feels, but I mean, as long as you don't stay overnight, like Walmart will let you stay overnight. Cracker Barrel will let you stay overnight. Sam's Club lets you stay overnight, and a lot of wineries. Sometimes wineries will let you stay overnight for free. But any place else, to stop and just, like we always stop at this location when we're going down south, right as you hit the beginning of Virginia. And it's a Walmart there, a dollar store. And I always like to go there and do my little grocery shopping before wherever I'm going. And sometimes we'll go there and just sit in the parking lot. There's like 3 or 4 other RVs in the parking lot, and you're just having lunch.
So what have you all run into strange? Like, have you seen bears crossing the road or anything crazy as you're driving? And my other question is Rick, what about maintenance? Go ahead, Trina.
Well, one night we were asleep. We were in New Jersey and we were at a Walmart parking lot, and we hear this loud car pull up. This girl gets out. She parks in between the RV and her car, and she gets out and goes to the bathroom.
Oh, she didn't know you all were in there.
She didn't think we were in there. Crazy, crazy, crazy. One time we were parked in a parking lot in Delaware, and a storm came, and it was just whipping, and we just, I was like, Rick, what we gonna do? He said, we gonna get the hell out of here. And we got in, came across the Delaware Bridge and got to Jersey as the storm is not following us, but it's coming that way. So we actually got home safely. And as soon as we pulled into our driveway and got secure, that storm hit our area. So, but we really haven't had, thank God, any major kind of problems.
Really on the highway. And we didn't have any whole lot of stress. But I want to mention, and like Trina can probably elaborate either with this. When you're on the road, even though you can stop by like convenience, you still should make reservations. I mean, they
Okay.
cannot fetch you enough because of the mere fact they might
Be
uh
full.
they might be
Campsites.
full. Right,
Campsites.
the campsites may be full. So therefore,
So talk.
you might have to go to those rest stops or those Walmart and Kmart's. But, so, and another thing you need to when you make reservations, check your reviews. Use like Google or allstays.com,
Yep.
things like that to see where you actually going, and that will give you a inside scoop on what you need to do.
Now let me ask you this: if people can't afford to buy the RV,
Mm-hmm.
talk about rental, the benefits of maybe renting one, and a single person might want to rent with several of their friends or something. So,
I
is there
think
a
rental is a
benefit in
great
renting?
idea. At the time that we purchased, we weren't thinking about rental. We were thinking about an investment in our retirement. And we really weren't, we didn't have any experience other than that test drive that we did. So we kind of had to learn things on our own. And luckily we liked it. But
Okay.
if you're not sure, like if you have a spouse that's reluctant or a friend that's reluctant, a lot of older people that are best friends, they will sell their
Right,
houses
there you
and
go.
get an RV together and just travel so they have somebody to go with.
That's
So
true.
I
That's
would
true.
say we actually had planned to rent. I wanted to go see TD Jakes in Texas
In
to one of
Texas.
his big events, and we put the money down. And I forgot what I think he canceled it. Something happened, and we couldn't go. And that was going to be our test to make sure that we really liked doing it. And that was before the test drive, and that got canceled. So we fast for a couple of years, and then we did the test drive. But I would definitely recommend that you rent one, and you can actually rent. I'm gonna look real quick while we're talking about that RV rental fees. Um,
Um,
but it gives you an opportunity to actually see if you like it.
Right.
You don't know if you. I mean, it sounds like a great, cool idea, but you don't know if um it's something. Especially you gotta like each other. You definitely gotta like each other to
Because you're in like close quarters
exactly. That's what I'm trying
all
to say. Yeah.
all times.
so
And
so what's go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Rick.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what's the benefit of having a mobile home well, I said RV where you can drive it yourself versus having one attached to your truck and pulling it that way?
That's a very good question on that. Let's just say if you have a all-in-one, which is the one that you drive, it's a lot
Uh-huh.
it's a lot more convenient. Whereas you have a fifth wheel, they call it a fifth wheel or like a tow along,
Okay.
one that goes in the back. You got six more wheels to worry about, and between 35 and 40 more feet behind you towing. So if you don't have those skills, I would recommend going something uh, something all in one, which is the A or C class. Depending upon
Okay,
your
what's the
dollar.
difference?
I was gonna show you. Can I actually
Yeah,
share my
flip the
screen?
switch.
Sure, share your screen. Sure.
Okay.
I don't even think pulled up. I'm just talking.
While she's doing that, I just want to let you guys know this is Praise from the Closet, and we are talking to the Byrds, tripping with the Byrds, who do that RV thing every now and then, but this is not their only life. And maybe the next time they'll talk about some other things that they do individually and as a couple, because they do a lot of things together. And like she said, it works. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. You could go ahead and bring that in, and I'll get to that.
Okay. Excuse me.
Let's see.
Okay.
There we go. Can you see it?
I'm gonna move my out and you keep talking so I can make it bigger. Oh, okay, that's
Okay.
good.
Everybody see it? You see it, Rick?
Yes.
Let me minus that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So see the first one. This is what Rick was calling the Class A.
Class A.
So that's $260 a night. Sleeps 9. So just imagine if it's like 4 people, two couples, or just 4 friends. and you split that 260, and you're in the, you're in the RV of that size, and it sleeps 9. So everybody, if it's just 4 people, you're gonna really sleep comfortable. And you're splitting $260. Now that's just to rent the RV. If you're gonna, you got to add on the gas and tolls and things like that.
Right.
Okay.
Then they have a smaller one. This is more like ours. This probably here is like actually it's a 30-foot. This is what we have. We have a 31-foot. And it says it sleeps 7, but I could tell you it's very comfortable with just 4, really 2, because
Oh wow. Okay.
we just don't. And these are some of the newer models: 269, 234. Like a one person. This is like for a one person here. This sleeps 3, but it's good for like 2 people.
Okay.
I kind of like the space.
Okay.
And then the 119, that's like the pull on.
That's the pull on.
What you were talking about. See, that's a lot of.
Oh, pull on the back of your truck.
Yeah, you put it on the back of your truck. These are trucks and drive themselves.
Right. The A and the C class.
So, and they all, I mean, don't be bothered by the fact that you're pulling it, because these fifth wheels, they got a lot going on. They have more things in them. Let me see if I can make this bigger.
As a matter of fact, a friend of mine just went up to a show in Hershey Park, PA, and he's thinking about getting
look how roomy they are.
A 40
Yeah, it looks big.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's during the pandemic, I saw several people who said they rented an RV and they drove across country, and it just changed a lot of people's lives, because like you guys say,
absolutely, it does.
You're gonna be in so close proximity. You gotta like the people you're gonna be with. You may not love them all the time. You gotta like them.
That's true.
Yes, you do.
That's true.
Yes, you do.
And there's all types and all models. You can get from a low price, mid range, or like luxury. I mean, you can get a Mercedes Benz all the way down to a Ford or a Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm. This is similar to ours. We have a 31-foot. This is a 28-foot, but the front's the same. A little bit. We when we got ours in 2007, we really bought at a good time. So the quality of the unit is great. We have real wood inside. We have leather. These seats are leather and not pleather. They said that at the last recent show that they're just making them so cheap now because they're in demand, and the vendors who build them are cutting back on the quality of the units, and the people who sell them are really upset with the vendors who build them, because you're going to go back to where you bought it if you got problems, and they are experiencing a lot.
Though, inside and outside. What about the cost of maintenance? Because everybody may not be able to go out and purchase one for themselves. So talk about what it means to have for maintenance.
Okay, I'll just start with the outside. The outside really is self-contained. It takes care of itself. You got the vinyl on board like that. All you have to really worry about is your tires, like the essentials, the tires, the brakes, making sure that it's all lubricated. There's one thing that
no roof issues,
right? That I'm doing. That I'm doing now, which I didn't know about. There's this thing called a stabilizer, and all heavy duty trucks have that. And I experienced this, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying you need a stabilizer on your front. What this does is keeps the front wheel straight. Like if you have a blowout or anything of that nature, which like everybody else, this stabilizer keeps it straight on the road. Okay. Especially if like you going up a mountain, and that's when I was more or less talking about that. Like if you have a blowout, it won't lean to the left or right. It will stay on course, and like things like that. But you have to make every time we leave out, I check all my fluid levels. I make sure like my tire pressure is up, which is really essential. And I check it like every 100 miles.
Do you have a pump that you take with you, or you always have to stop at a gas station?
Oh, no, we got a pump.
Oh no, we have a pump.
A foot pump, or what kind of pump is that? Is it something special?
I'll show you.
I
I'll see.
want
Can
to
I get it?
show
Yeah,
you like
I'll get it.
I forget the name brand, but it's an all-in-one pump. It goes up to 150 psi, and it has I use it all around the house. I use it for my other, more or less,
Okay.
vehicles too.
Dad, what's in? I can't think of
which
the
is
name.
good. It does what? What else does it do? I use it for that. It's a battery charger too. Like if I'm
Okay.
low on my battery, I can like plug that up. Like if I can like start anywhere or like start somebody else's, vehicle, and I keep it plugged up. That's like one of the things I take apart and I put on board, which is essential. It runs off a regular 110 house outlet, charged it up 12 volts, and you're ready to go. So every vehicle, every RV needs that.
Okay.
I was trying to find a picture of it, but
I forgot the name brand
it's
of it myself.
it does everything. It'll do it'll jumpstart it'll put air in your tires.
Okay.
It'll even charge your phone.
Yes, it has
it's what you call a lifetime, almost a lifetime investment for.
Oh yeah.
If you look at it as a whole, if you get an RV,
This is
it's a huge investment, and you want to be on board, on top of things. Sure, and like with every investment, just like you buy a boat, car, you're going to invest some money in it. Believe me.
I'm getting ready to show you what it let me if you let me in.
Okay.
I got one of them that's similar.
You do?
Let me pull it up.
Well, we're down to we're down to just about 10 minutes. So after this, I want you guys to tap into the other ventures that you guys do, just to let people know a few minutes, because when you finish with Praise in the Closet, I know you all have another show that you have to do, so you might want to talk about that, and let people know how to get to that. Oh,
this
the
is
wall,
that
that's
unit.
the frame.
Okay, that's it right there. Yes.
Yep, $99. You can get it at Sam's Club, and it just does a whole lot of everything. These are all the things that it can do. It can pump up your tires. You can plug up your iPhones for recharging. It'll jumpstart your battery. It's a good deal. It's a good deal for $99. Ours has I don't see this on here, but ours has the plugs to jump your car, Rick. What's that called?
Yeah, like the
jumper cables.
Jumper cables is built into it.
Wow.
It's cool, and we keep that charged, and we take it with us. We put that in the back of the car that we tow on the back. Every time we go out, we make sure we have that in place, because and actually it was a fellow RVer. We were up in Pennsylvania, and he came and knocked on our door and said, your tire's low on your Jeep. So we're like, what? So he's like, I can help you out if you want. We were like, oh yeah, please. So he goes and gets this little unit out, and he pumps up the air. Then he checks also can check the tire pressure on your vehicle too.
Mm-hmm.
So
you guys have good camaraderie then with other people. Yeah. That's great.
And that's one thing about RVing.
People love to share.
Not afraid to share what their data is, and I've learned a wealth of information. That's why I was so like levitated to want to go on this show, so I can share this with somebody. Especially like the newbies, because I can want to turn you on. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get a friend of mine. He lives in Atlanta, and we're trying to get him to want to. It's like pulling teeth, but
they may rent one. They bougie. Bougie.
So they might get a cabin or something. You know what I mean? But like at any rate, that's really not camping, but you're on the campground, so be it.
Back to that unit, you definitely want to get that one piece for $99, because oh man, it does a lot.
Well, not just for RVs, just that's something good to have. But I would keep it in my car driving around in case somebody accidentally broke in my car. But that is certainly something to have. That's a great tool, especially if you don't have AAA or some other kind of service on the side of the road. That's definitely something good to have.
Right, it can get you out of the jam. Definitely can.
Cool. All right. Well, we are down to our last 7 minutes. So, you all want to talk about what you're going to do once you leave here, the other shows that you all have, or talk about the computer tech school or the trucks or something, just to let other people know what you're doing because you're going to come back.
Yeah, yeah, I put you in the calendar for every week at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, before you leave, I like to before I want to give you some tips. Even though we might be moving on to a different subject, I want to make sure all the newbies or the new RVers what they need to do is think about just in the back of your mind. You you can't drive it like a car. It's not a car. You need to slow down and drive slow and safety. Which like you're gonna do that anyway. Like if you rent it and like because you can like more or less waste a lot of gas for nothing. And make sure you empty out your tanks. We didn't go into like the holding tanks. It's best to empty out your tanks before you leave a destination or corn like going back. And another thing, which Trina is more or less guilty of this, and I'm going to say it: don't don't overpack. Don't overpack.
Rick
Repeat.
gets an RV. You got plenty of room.
No, it's not like that.
Oh, please, he needs to stop. Trina, we got this. Trina, we got that. And every time he asks me, do we have this? Do we have that? I show up with it.
Don't overpack.
You're home away from home, so you need everything.
Sure.
But you just need to buy like compact things. Like you don't get a 4-slicer toaster. You get one of them little small, skinny toasters. You can Google RV toaster, RV pots,
Oh,
RV.
wow.
I got the stackable
They have their
bowls
own
that
line
crunch
of,
down. Yeah, you just can get anything. You just got to get it a small portion. They have to be small in size so you can do because you do have a lot of space, but you'd be surprised how quickly your pots and your things. Like I have one of
Everything
our
piles
RV
up.
friends. She packs a suitcase every time she gets ready to go. That's like, and her sister is part of our group too. And she's like, well, one day she may get it. When I get in my RV to go, the only thing I have to stop and do is we'll stop and get gas and propane, and then
Okay.
I'll stop and do grocery shopping. Everything else I need. Oh, and I bring our back. We take vitamin. We take like a blood pressure medication. Thank God that's all we take. But then we take our vitamins and
Okay.
our vitamin D, things like that. So I'll bring my little pill bag with me. But that's it. And Rick brings his firearm because we have a we're able
all
to.
you need is an overnight bag.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. That's all
No,
you
Because
need.
everything else
we
is
don't
on
have
All
no.
the
there.
equipment you need.
It's not an overnight bag. When you say that, people think it's clothes in there, but like your little personable, things that you gotta, you can't leave there because you need them to take the pills in the house. But
Okay.
when we get on there, everything we need, the clothes,
It's already on there.
shoes, jackets, blanket, everything you need is already there. It's your home away from home. And if you equip it like that, you won't be stressed when you get somewhere and you don't have what you need.
So listen, when we come back next week, I want you guys to talk about the types of things that you need to store inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, you don't have anything,
Okay.
that type of stuff. How do you protect it from, about parking? Because one of my neighbors had one and they wouldn't let him park. You got to think about that. That comes with the size. So it's all
HOAs will get
other
you every
other
time.
things. So,
Yep.
well,
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
want to put this back up, Tripping with the Birds.
Tripping with the Birds.
Those
Oh,
are
and real quickly to answer your other question,
yeah.
our next show is T-Bird Live that we do, and we pretty much, it's back to school time, so we're trying to get people to understand about the remote jobs that are out there that you can get proper training for and make as much as $20 to $25 an hour to start based on your previous experience and, of course, recently being trained in our training program to be able to have the skills that you need to work remotely. And we also talk about business and technology, how, if you're running your own business, how important it is for administrative side of your business. We also we have food trucks, and oftentimes you'll find that food truck vendors put more emphasis on the food that they're delivering opposed to the operational side of running their business. So we talk about things like that.
Okay.
We also talk about problems that people just have in general with running their business and being successful, and how to actually solve the problems that may arise as you run your daily business. So it's all about business and technology. It's called T-Bird Live, and you can
Okay.
visit us on tbirdlive.com. tbyrdlive.com. And
Okay.
we also have a YouTube channel where we post all of our broadcasts up there. And we also use the StreamYard to do it as well.
Okay. So what I'll do next time is I'll have the information for our visitors, our lookers, our listeners. And I want to again say thank you, Byrds, for sharing your information with us. As always, it's great to talk to you guys because you all keep it real. And so maybe one day I'll have that RV experience. I said one day, no time soon. I'm still, working and I'm trying to get everything else done. But I look forward to that, and I look forward to next week. So once again, guys, you all are listening to Tripping with the Byrds. That's part of WGMLB, and I'm signing out now with the Byrds.
All right.
Thank you.
Care.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Have
you
a
for
great
having
day.
us.
Bye-bye.
And technology again.